Trent, I was just looking at your writing. This is interesting here, and I want to kind of address this because this is pertinent to graphic design. It says you didn't really have an initial plan, and this is just kind of how things turned out. And that's kind of antithetical to what we want to do as graphic designers. Now, my recommendation for you is to get yourself a nice sketch pad and some drawing pencils and start getting used to sketching your assignments before you get on the computer. It's such a great way to go about things because the computer can't keep up with your mind. As your mind is changing, it's better to sketch. That way you say, okay, and I'm talking about quick, down and dirty sketches of your composition. So, okay, headline here, image here, flower here, background image. Does it look at it? Nah, that doesn't work. Start over. Let's do this, 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 this. Does that work? See what I'm saying? So you can't do that on a computer because it takes too long. So what I'm trying to say is the computer can't keep up with your mind. However, sketching can, especially when you get yourself into a shorthand version of your sketches where you understand exactly what you're doing. Okay, that way you have a blueprint, a plan to follow when you start your ad. Okay, that's how it's done in a studio, and I recommend that you think about that. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the ad. I think it's an effective ad. I do. There's a few things that are working and some things that aren't working. Okay, I disagree with this kind of purple bar right here. I think it adds a degree of separation. It ends up muting this side of the composition, and I just don't think it's needed at all. So I think that a recomposition is in order. Now, that's not to say that this isn't going to work, because most everything here is going to work just beautifully. So let's try this. Okay, right now the headline is too low. I would move that up to right about here or so. So you have, then your flowers are also a little too large. I would consider reducing the size of the flowers a little bit. So what you can do here is you can keep this all left aligned or right aligned. That's fine. Make sure you're in alignment here. If I grab a straight edge, I'll just use this for a straight edge, the edge of this page. But as we can see, so we're in alignment. So right now, oh, I see what's happening. I thought these were justified paragraphs in there. Boy, those rags are so even. So see how that one kind of protrudes out there. So this almost looks like it wants to be justified, but it's not. So I would remove the hyphens in this. This is a really short paragraph. I would turn your hyphens off. Also, you've got a couple of typographic widows. This technically is a widow. Though it's two words, it acts like one word at the end of because they're so short, only two-letter words. It acts like one word at the end of a sentence. A widow is a word that sits alone at the end of a paragraph on a line by itself. That's a widow. You don't want that. That's a widow. You don't want that. So you can increase the size of the headline. So watch my cursor, escape to paradise, then reduce that leading right there. That's the space between the headline and the subhead, and then move that up and then increase that whole thing to size about like that. Keep that all. But actually, let's do this. Since this is left aligned, let's left align this. So bring that over here and reconfigure this whole thing. Let's go ahead and center that. So right here, escape to paradise, true relaxation, left aligned, right? So then we come back from the headline subhead right over here to this paragraph. My recommendation is to forget garden tours as a subhead. This is your subhead. This belongs with the headline. There is no introduction to this paragraph. I would combine this information and condense. So combine this information with this information so you end up with one paragraph instead of having to go from here, here, and then over here, then down here. Too many eye movements. Okay, at this point, if we reduce the size of the flowers, this flower, and definitely remove this purple semicircle. This flower can go up a little bit. You can even layer the type over the flower, right? But what you're doing is you're going to open up an area right down here for the logo. All right. Well, one thing I notice is there's no contact information in here. So when you open up this area right here, move that flower up, reduce the size. Logo right here. Watch my cursor about this size. Right here, okay, and then contact information right over here. Try it. I think it's really going to improve the harmony of this page. I think it's an excellent start, but those recommendations are, why do I have this here? I have this here, but I should have this. I should have this here. Okay, sorry about that. Anyway, so try it. It's going to work out beautifully. I know it will. But if you have any questions at all, please let me know. But I'd like to see those changes reflected in your final submission. Coming up here at next week in weeks, or like 2 weeks in week 7. So if you have any questions at all, please let me know. But in a perfect world, the magazine ad would be done, complete, ready to go. Then you start planning your banner ad based on the magazine ad. So again, if you want to run something by me, please have at it. Thanks, man.